future. Keeps on sipping into the future. Looking into the future, it's bright for fight fiends and forecasters and UFC Qatar. We're going to make it quick. We're back for the full card prediction videos as requested by my good friend, MMA Husky Hustler. He said, where did the full card prediction videos go? You're not having fun with it anymore. I'm still having fun with it. And Fight Fiends are getting that $50 this week on Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're doing another live stream. Put hashtag F3 in the comment section on the last Prop Fiend show. UFC 322 Prop Fiends video there. It's in the live section of Fight Fiend Forecast YouTube channel. $50 giveaway each and every event. You just got to put the hashtag F3 in the comment section on the UFC 322 Prop Fiend show. Let's go. Let's keep it rolling. Become a forecaster. All the links are in the bio below. Discord, absolutely free. Not a bad idea to join Discord and become a forecaster. It's free. It's free to subscribe. Smash the like button while you're here. We're going to make it quick. It's not an hour show. We're giving you the picks, each and every one of them, in a reasonable amount of time. We're locked in this week, and we got two fighters making their UFC debut. So on the slide, I put their last pro fight. Looking at the opening underdog, Denzel Freeman, who is now the favorite. This guy was not rightfully the underdog opening up this fight. That's why he boomed to the favorite. He has a wrestling background, military background, and he's fought the better competition in his last couple fights. Marek Bujlo, I'm going to butcher a lot of these names in Qatar. 6-0 undefeated, has fought some pretty bad competition lately. His last fight, a 3-5 opponent. I know Denzel Freeman took Hugo Cunha to round 2, but I definitely think this fight is his fight to win as a favorite now. Like I said, he was the opening underdog. That did not make sense. He has the wrestling in this fight, and he has the military background. I think he has the heart, the power in this fight. He's definitely my pick now as the favorite first fight of the night. I'm looking for the finish bet for him as well. Round 2, possibly. Once again, not going to overcomplicate the first fight of the night. Not my most confident pick. One of my most confident picks would be the Khabib prodigy making his UFC debut off a couple finish wins. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Look at it. Not easy to pronounce. He's fighting Nicolas Dalby, 41 years old. That's who he gets in his UFC debut. Seems like a layup fight. Almost a 4-1 favorite here is the Khabib prodigy. He trains with high-level guys in the Khabib gym. I doubt he's going to lose this fight going into his UFC debut. He should be dominant. He should have a finish in this fight as well. I see a back-to-back finish in Qatar. This is another fighter that should have no problem. He's 10 years younger in this fight versus Nicolas Dalby, who is off a knockout loss. Seems to be fading in his career. This is a pretty confident pick I'm taking this week. Saygid Izagakhmaev. Butchered the name. I tried. Nurullo Aliev is going to try to stay undefeated now in this next fight on the prelims versus Shaqueme. Plus 200, not too bad. Looked at the level of competition, pretty bad. Shaqueme did not fight the best level of competition. You look at Nurullo Aliev, he has, 2 knockout wins. A lot of these fights going the distance, and it doesn't matter if the level of competition is good or not. Nurullo Aliev takes everybody to a decision with the grappling approach, control time, takedowns, and that's how he's probably going to look to dominate this fight. But looking at his Instagram, which I do, his hands look pretty good. I might bet him by knockout in this fight. His striking and boxing looks a lot better, and this is another favorite, a 3-1 favorite that I am very confident in this week. I don't think Shaqueme is coming in here to rock Nurullo Aliev on the feet, although sometimes with his crotch wrestling, we would love to see him knocked out. I just think he might be the guy knocking out Shaq Rock here. Nurullo Aliev is working on his striking. Hopefully he's less boring in this fight. I like him as a lock of the week opportunity. The next fight, Ryan Loder plus 110 comes in. He's a former Ultimate Fighter champion. And then he got knocked out to Azamat Yakhyaev round 1. His striking is a little suspect. His ground and pound is where he likes to shine. He gets a takedown. He gets top pressure and control. He's going to land the ground and pound, and he has a lot of knockout wins via ground and pound. On the feet striking distance, he could be in trouble, but Ismail Naurdiev has shown me not a whole lot so far. He lost to Junyun Park. He made some questionable mistakes, got a point taken away. I think Ryan Loder is a more calculated fighter in this fight. And after taking a couple favorites with confidence, I will take a low confidence pick here in the underdog, Ryan Loder. Now, he can get a takedown, get the control time, and that might be it. He finished Valentin in round 2 with the ground and pound. Like I mentioned, he has a lot of knockout wins, only has 1 or 2 decision wins, but I might pick him by a decision in this fight, unanimously in Qatar. Now, a lot of these Russians and fighters from this region might not be all lined up to win. This is certainly one, Ismail Naurdiev, that I believe is not lined up to win. Naurdiev is not that good. He's training hard at Killcliff FC, but his hair looks pretty silly, and I'm not picking a guy with a hairdo like that. Not today. And the line's pretty close on that fight. Ryan Loder plus 110 tells you enough. It's going to be a close fight, and I see it going late, so maybe over 1.5 is the best bet with Ryan Loder, Ismail Naurdiev. The next fight is another fight. I don't understand the odds whatsoever. This plus 110 underdog is an underdog of the week. He's not just an underdog I like, I'm picking. He's an underdog of the week. One of the most confident picks on the card at plus 110. Bekzat Almakhan lost his UFC debut to Umar Nurmagomedov. That's what the UFC thought about this guy. The next fight, he knocked out my Canadian, a durable Canadian, quite easily, round 1. And he looked very good in that fight. Looking at Aleksandre Topuria as a favorite, I think the name is why he's the favorite. It's kind of buying into the price tag, and I'm not buying into it. I'm not buying into him. One brother is always better than the other. Clearly, Aleksandre Topuria is not going to be the better brother. Ilia Topuria is that guy. He's a much better brother. And I'm going to have faith that the guys that this Topuria brother fought aren't as good as Bekzat Almakhan's competition. Looking at the level of competition that Aleksandre Topuria beat are not impressive. He only got into the UFC probably because Ilia Topuria's the guy. He's the champion, and they let his brother in. Look at the wins here. 3-1 before the UFC debut. 1-9 before that. 7-18. And then he took a loss to a debut fighter by knockout. I think Bekzat Almakhan knocks him out. Look what he just did to Brad Katona. He dropped Umar Nurmagomedov in his debut. He showed power in that loss. And then he beat a 15-5 opponent pre-UFC. 12-4. And another 14-1 fighter. Beat him and took him to a decision. I think Bekzat Almakhan has clearly fought the better competition and has shown us in his losses he can compete with the best in this division. Aleksandre Topuria is not that guy. Ilia Topuria is that guy. Enough said. I think this is a great pick this week. Bekzat Almakhan. There's another Kazakhstan fighter I'm taking. In this fight, I'm taking the Japanese underdog potentially with extremely low confidence. Extremely low confidence. Horiguchi has been in the UFC before. He has been. Like 2016. You don't remember. I don't remember. I had to look back. Like 2016. He had one loss. It was to Demetrius Johnson, round 5. Very late in the fight. He can win this fight by a decision. That's all I'm saying. You know, he has the forward pressure, and he might have a couple takedowns, or at least be able to stop the takedowns of Tagir Ulanbekov, who's slick and slimy, but I don't think he's that great. He doesn't have the finish upside. And I'm not saying Horiguchi has the finishing upside, but you don't know. He's making his UFC debut. He's looking to make a statement after he left the UFC and gets to return. Tagir's been here and he's not been doing a whole lot. A lot of decision wins. He is a slick striker and slick on the ground, which is why I'm probably going to steer away from a bet on Horiguchi. But at plus 170, there is value there. I might sprinkle on the decision bet for Horiguchi. There could be even more value on that prop. We'll dive deeper into this fight, but it's a 50-50 fight. The odds don't indicate that whatsoever. Ulanbekov, 34 years old in this one versus Horiguchi, coming back as a 35-year-old veteran with a much better record, more experience, and has a higher finishing upside. Not going to lie. 4-inch reach advantage is not going to help Horiguchi here. Another reason why I have to steer away from a bet on him. Now, the next fight is another lock of the week opportunity. 8-1 favorite. You don't have to talk about it too long. It seems like a layup fight. Once again, Raffael Cerqueira, 0-3 in the UFC, can't really stand and strike with anyone, gets knocked out. He went to a decision in that last one with Julius Walker, but did not show us a whole lot. Not a whole lot of promise there. And the Russian went into his Dana White Contender Series fight and floored Buddy round 1. Sent him to the shadow realm. Right? So Alec Lorenz, 6-1, probably wasn't a great prospect either. The level of competition that AbdulRakhman Yakhyaev has been fighting, probably not that great. Maybe Raffael Cerqueira has been fighting the better competition. Maybe. But the momentum swing here is one's going upwards, one's going downwards, and it's not going to be good in my opinion. It should be another round 1 finish for Yakhyaev, 8-1 favorite. He has a finishing upside on the ground here, I would say, with the wrestling. He's going to be too dominant in this fight. Should not be a fight that the commission passed. I feel bad for Cerqueira. Feel bad for the guy. He kind of deserves a win, but not in this one. He probably honestly doesn't make weight or finds a way to get out of this fight somehow. That's my official prediction. Fight doesn't even happen. This is a fight I can't wait for. This is a fight we've been waiting to see happen. Luke Riley making his UFC debut. He's an English fighter, and the English fighters are on the rise. Look at Lerone Murphy. Leon Edwards had his time. Now he's, Luke Riley, undefeated here. Can be a new prospect from England, and I have faith in him. He's a well-rounded fighter, training with Paddy Pimblett, another guy on the rise here, right? It might be Paddy's time soon. We got a lot of Paddy Pimblett fans in the Fight Fiend Forecast chat in Discord. So join Discord absolutely free and let me know where you're from and what's going on, Fight Fiends. A lot of free forecasters in the chat. Now, Luke Riley, he's my pick. I don't think Bogdan Grad is that good, in my opinion. Lost his last fight. And, he's just a basic fighter. He's a decent boxer. His durability, I will say, is good. He has a lot of heart inside that octagon, which is why I think he can hold up in this fight versus Luke Riley. I think the IQ is just too high on the other side for Luke Riley. He's going to be picking his shots with ease. Maybe he mixes in a takedown, but I could see him just keeping this fight on the feet, showing his striking, maybe even landing that knockout punch. Look at Bogdan Grad the first time on Dana White's Contender Series. It didn't go overly good. Under a lot of pressure, he got knocked out early round 1. If Luke Riley brings that heat round 1, I would not be surprised if he lands a shot. Debut fight, undefeated. He's a more calculated fighter, higher IQ, and he's going to shine in his first fight of the night. Not overcomplicating it. He's not a lock of the week because in his debut, I want to see what he does. Bogdan Grad looks like a little goblin on the other side, and you never know what he could do. So, not a lock of the week. Not a lock of the week. But high confidence pick for sure. Luke Riley. Hopefully he wins. Could have been a lock of the week. If you want that $50, Fight Fiends and Forecasters, all what you got to do, go to the live section, go to UFC 322 Prop Fiends, and in the comment section, put hashtag F3, a chance to win $50 on the raffle wheel. Each and every event, you got to comment each and every week, though, on the Prop Fiend show to enter each and every event. We're spinning the wheel. Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and you'll have a chance to win that $50. I can't wait to see all the forecasters this week entering. Hopefully one of them gets really lucky because we need to get back into the win column. Become a forecaster, join Discord. Let's get this team rolling once again. We were hot. Obviously, things are pretty cold. The locks are not hitting, and that's all right. We're still entertaining. We're still here each and every event, bringing that energy. And now we're going to move forward because we're not here to waste your time. We're not here to do an hour-long video. 20 minutes, 30 minutes max. I'm giving each and every pick with the confidence level. A couple bets maybe, if you can listen. A couple props in there if you're listening. The next one, Alex Perez, plus 162 versus Almabayev, is a pick that I'm pretty confident in fading the underdog. I don't like a lot of underdogs this week, and I hate to say that because, a lot could end up winning. You never know what could happen inside that octagon. I just like a lot of favorites this week. Not overly confident in too many underdogs. The underdogs I like are plus 110, not sizable underdogs. I think the big favorites are going to have a big night, and Almabayev, another Kazakhstan fighter, should have his way versus an old Alex Perez. In fight years, he's old. He took a lot of damage, and he's not showing us a lot of success in his fights or in his losses. So Almabayev, 22-3 is the pick. Just dominated Jose Ochoa. He took a loss. He bounced back from the loss. Before that, he was a decision dominator, and obviously a veteran in Alex Perez will likely need 15 minutes to get him to take the loss. I don't think Perez is coming in here and getting finished. He obviously needs a little fight back off those losses. He's had time to train, get healthy. He's fought the more experienced fighters over his career, but his time is starting to fade now. And Almabayev is ready to shine closer to home in his region, I would say. And we have another Kazakhstan fighter on the card, Bekzat Almakhan. We really like this week. Maybe we pair them up and triple our money. Kazakhstan's on the rise here in Qatar. And we're moving on with the next fight. And this is a plus 110 underdog that I once again like. Sergey Spivak, the polar bear. I got polar bear fur right here. I'll bring it out Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time when I give out that $50. I'll put the polar bear fur on for the dog of the week, the second underdog of the week. We're taking two dogs of the week. Sergey Spivak has a submission upside in this fight, but he has the upside to take it late. He has the cardio, in my opinion, and we've seen Gaziv absolutely gas after round one if he doesn't get it. My prediction, Gaziv goes for the knockout, doesn't get it, gasses out. Spivak takes over later in the fight. He has good control time on the ground and great grappling, and that's going to really pay dividends here later in the fight. We're talking round 3 finish, Sergey Spivak, a bet I am targeting. That's what we're talking. We're talking Sergey Spivak submission. Might look at that. Sergey Spivak inside the distance. Could be looking towards that. Dog of the week, most definitely. Polar bear. He's ready to go. He's off 2 losses. He's hungry. He's mean. And the striker on the other side is mean, but he's been eating a little bit too much beef jerky. And his layers aren't as they're not as I don't know what to say. Yeah, he's more flubby. Sergey Spivak's been hitting the gym, cranking the Bowflex. He's on her. He's on her. He's ready to go. Dog of the week, the Polish bear. The polar bear, not the Polish bear. Jesus Christ. Jack Hermanson, the Joker, is next. And he had a nice win to Joe Pyfer, not going to lie, which is why I would stay away from a Majtelbek Orolbai bet here. Orolbai had some pretty bad fights on the regional scene. He looked good. The level of competition, not so great. So, looking at the UFC run, he's looking pretty good, but he gets hit a lot, not going to lie. He needs to go to the takedowns and grappling in this fight if he wants to get that dub. And Jack Hermanson can surprise. He has been a veteran in the UFC. His takedown defense is questionable depending on what fight you're looking at. So I don't really know what to expect in this fight. That means I'm not putting my money on it. That's for sure. I'm not betting on this fight. Maybe over 1.5 for sure. Fight to go the distance, maybe a good look. All right, but Majtobek Orobai is the pick. Low confidence. Crossing my fingers he can get those takedowns, that control time, because I don't see a finish in this fight. And I don't think he's really fought that great of competition. If he wins this fight, I'm fading Majtobek Orobai in the future. All right, that's all I'm saying. We're going to move on with the next fight because clearly I don't want to put money on that one. I'm putting my hard-earned money on Volkan Ozdemir to get a win. I think that's a good pick in a parlay, just the money line. You know, he could get the KO with the speed on the feet, the more seasoned striking. Alonzo Menifield, he's a one-punch type of fighter. You know, if he doesn't land the one punch, he's kind of standing there, not doing a whole lot, flat-footed. Takedowns, not going to work in this fight either for Alonzo Menifield. So he's pretty one-dimensional with that one punch in this fight, which is why Volkan is a great pick with a great price. Great price this week. He could be a bigger favorite. Looking at some other fights on this card, I think Volkan has his way, even if it's a decision. I think each and every round he's going to be winning. He's going to be landing more. That's about it. High accuracy, high volume from Volkan Ozdemir. He could mix in takedowns of his own, which will be more effective than Alonzo Menifield's as well. We're going to hear a lot of Sayoud, Alonzo Menifield's coach, just yelling at him. Fortis MMA coach there, just giving Alonzo Menifield the fucking shits on the stool because he's not doing enough. He's just standing there, not doing anything, getting hit. He probably gets finished, honestly. In a fight like this, Alonzo Menifield just won a fight to a prospect. He's due for a big loss. He did not deserve the last fight. He managed to get it done, but pulling a rabbit out of the hat 2 times in a row ain't going to happen. Give me the Swiss fighter to outstrike the Alonzo Menifield stiff board. He's going to be a stiff board in this fight. Another stiff board could be Bilal Muhammad. He's 37. He's fighting a guy 10 years younger. He could be a stiff board. You know, he could be a burrito, right? Husky Hustler. This guy could be a burrito and a stiff board at the same time because Bilal had his time. He's been there, done that. He is motivated. He looked good later in the fight with Jack Della Maddalena, but the footwork of Ian Gary could be a problem. You know, the striking accuracy could be a problem. The head kick could be a problem. Ian Gary working in Brazil, having a better takedown defense could be a problem. I have to go Ian Gary, not overly confident, but I definitely see him winning the fight. You know, it's the welterweight division, and we've seen Conor McGregor and Khabib at one point. I think Ian Gary and Islam Makhachev could be a good fight. So we're going to have to see a lot more of Ian Gary. Recently, what I've seen out of him is enough to pick him as a favorite in this fight. You know, he had a good fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov, disrespected on the odds. He was plus 400, and he lost by a point. You know, he went out there and beat Carlos Prates, who just flatlined Leon Edwards round 1. And, I mean, Leon and Bilal was a back-and-forth fight. Bilal had the better moments, really beat down Leon, but Carlos Prates did what he did last week versus Leon. And Ian Gary just made Carlos Prates look like he didn't really belong. Not going to lie. So Ian Gary could be that guy, 16-1. He stepped in with the balls to fight Shavkat Rakhmonov. It might be his time, not Bilal's time. Remember the name Bilal. He was a former champion. He has a lot of heart. He has a great cardio. He's not going to quit on himself, that's for sure, in Qatar. But he's going to lose the fight by a decision, unanimously. Ian Gary with the footwork, striking accuracy, is going to win him this fight. Bilal is going to be stiff as a board, and he's going to be questioning his decisions as Ian Gary just shoots another shot, another jab, another kick. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a banger fight. Not going to lie, there is value on Bilal, former champ, plus 225. That's a big number. But you got to believe in the bookies having Ian as this big of a favorite after all those boys getting the finish, like Michael Morales even last week, making a statement. I think Ian Gary really wants a finish in this fight, as Bilal is saying he's going to outbox Ian Gary. He's going to knock out Ian Gary. Good fight. Great co-main event for Qatar. Now we finish it off with a 5-1 favorite who ends at round 1. He ends at round 1. Look at the last 3 losses for Dan Hooker. Look at the last 3. I did. He lost in round one, each and every friggin' one of them. He gets knocked out round one or submitted. I know Arman Tsarukyan has not had a submission win in a while, but his wrestling is dominant. He can get this fight to the ground without a question. And if he wants to grab the rear naked choke, it's going to be right there. If he wants to ground and pound Dan Hooker to the ground and do a lot of damage on the ground round one, he can, and he will. And I think he will finish the fight looking to fight a higher caliber fighter like Ilia Topuria. This is a guy ready for a title shot. Now he had trouble making weight. He'll have no trouble making weight in a main event fight with Dan Hooker. He's going to dominate round one, make a statement, and do what he has to do to get that title fight. Arman Tsarukyan is here in Qatar to make a statement, Fight Fiends. And I fully believe that. Round one, look at Dan Hooker's last 3 losses. That's all I'm saying. I'm taking the round one bet for Arman Tsarukyan. I seen the odds too, and I was like, God damn, 5-1? Shit, why did the UFC line this up as a main event fight? It's not going to be competitive looking at the odds, so it should be a round one finish. Arman Tsarukyan. That's probably why he's the lock of the week for me. $50 giveaway. You know what to do. Join the Prop Fiend show each and every live stream. Put hashtag F3 in the comment section. Chance to win $50 on the raffle wheel. We're live Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Hopefully Husky Hustler can join me. And we got Prelim, Tim, each and every week too. Become a forecaster. All the links in bio below. I'm giving you the locks right here, right now. Arman Tsarukyan, you already heard it. 5-1 favorite. Absolute lock. Dan Hooker, he's won his last 2 fights. He won his last 2 fights by split decision. All right. Not 3 in a row. He had his time. He had his upsets. He's going to be upset after this fight. He's going to get finished round one with Arman Tsarukyan, and he's going to get real upset. And then he's going to go take his money and get another tattoo. That's what Dan Hooker's going to do. AbdulRakhman, Yakhyaev, 8-1 favorite. If you blow it, buddy, if you blow it as an 8-1 favorite, I might have to start blowing some other things to make my money back. My God, dude, don't blow it as an 8-1 favorite. I would never. Nurullo will leave looking like Khabib. He gets it done. He gets it done with ease. I'm starting to think he's a Khabib clone. This guy, Nurullo will leave. Working on the striking, so maybe he's not a clone of Khabib. He still could be, just like a supercharged clone, because his striking could be hella improved come Saturday night. I'm looking for a knockout bet on Nurullo will leave. You might not be expecting that one. I can hardly say the last guy's name, but I know he's training with the Khabib gym. He's in there with Islam, Rabdomanov in PFL there. He's training with a lot of good guys, and I doubt he's going to take the loss in his debut. They give him the debut shot in Qatar, in his region. They're going to be fired up for this guy in his debut. He gets a 41-year-old Nicolas Dalby. If Dalby steps in here and gets the dub, well, damn it, we might be quitting Fight Fiends and forecasters. If these locks lose at plus 120, I'm gonna be upset like Dan Hooker. That's what I'm gonna be. Because Arman Tsarukyan is my most confident pick in the main event this week. And that's one of the most important fights, the main events last week. Islam Makhachev got it done. Dominant decision as forecasted. Main card prop. Yeehaw! Yeehaw! But to be honest, manage the bankroll wisely. We're not throwing thousands on this plus 120. The risk to reward is not there for me. Some forecasters like to hammer the plus 120 with all their hard-earned money. For me, I'd rather hammer something that had more value to cover losses in the future. Because, you hit something like this, or if you miss something like this, you're losing all your money. So you got to think about the risk to reward when betting. Is it worth throwing a lot of money on something that's plus 120? I do think it's a lock parlay, but one of the bigger bets this week, looking at a 3-unit bet, 4-unit bet on the locks. We got to manage the bankroll wisely, and we got to get back into the win column in a big way while being wise. I'm not looking to lose a bunch of money on the locks of the week. As I lost the lock parlay the last couple weeks, Still managing the bankroll wisely. Long-term, not down a whole lot on the bankroll. Not putting a dent into things. This week, we really have to get back, though. I want to start cashing in like I was with the dogs of the week. I'm going to go for it. Bekzat Almakhan being the powerful striker. I know Ilia Topuria's little brother there. He looks powerful, but he fought a guy 1-9. And then he lost to a guy debuting. Got knocked out in that fight too. So I think Bekzat Almakhan plus 110 is great value. Another plus 110 underdog with great value is the polar bear who can take the fight late and gas out Gaziv. Two great underdogs this week. I would advise single betting both. Bankroll management, key in these fights. 1 unit, 2 unit bets. Single bet them. Put 1 unit, half unit on the double bet. Whatever bankroll is comfortable for you. If you want to see my exact play, my exact units going down, that's why you join and become a forecaster on Patreon for $5 a month. You'll see each and every unit I put out each and every week. And then you can give me the shit respectfully afterwards if I don't hit. Yeah, just be respectful and you won't get blocked like Rich Off War, who's been running his mouth to not only me, but a number of forecasters. So you're going to get blocked if you start talking trash to all the fight fiends and forecasters in the chat. So hate to be the guy to look like a bad guy, but I'm being the good guy and taking care of my people like I will each and every week, which is why they join the Fight Fiend giveaway each and every week. A free $50. A free $50. Put the hashtag F3 on the Prop Fiend show, and we're giving back each and every week. We could not do this show without you guys each and every week. So we really appreciate you staying forecasted, tuning in. Me, Prelim Tim, MMA Husky Hustler are bringing the heat each and every week. So thanks everybody once again for tuning in, staying forecasted. You know the energy's hot each and every week through the losses. We're going to taste a couple of those. But while you taste the losses, get ready to taste those wins because we're coming back in a big way in Qatar. Let's go.